everyone, and welcome to my channel, Wheel of Fortune Psychic Tarot. My name is Nia, and in today's video I would like to share with you, based on my experience as a psychic medium and a tarot reader, the 7 ways your deceased loved ones try to reach you and what you can do so you will not miss out on these signs, on their attempts of contacting you. Okay, now I'm sure that there are many things about this topic that you already know, and that you will have had some experiences, some paranormal experiences of your own, especially if you've been watching the videos on my channel. If your loved ones come through and my messages resonate, that's a perfect example of successful spirit communication. Okay, but I'm also very sure that there are a few things that you do not know, some details that you do not quite understand. And so by the end of this video, you might realize that your loved ones have been trying to reach you in many different ways, and you haven't noticed because you were not aware of this information that I am about to give you. All right, so yeah. Before we get into that, I need to educate you though on 2 very important factors in regard to spirit communication, and they can lead to a lot of frustration, disappointment and hurt. And that's the fact, number 1, that your loved ones are still the very same person they used to be when they were alive, okay? Just because they lost their physical body and are in spirit does unfortunately not mean that their possibilities in the spirit realms are limitless. They have to deal with some limitations, blockages and hurdles themselves. So know that, if they were, for example, not the best at communicating and expressing themselves when they were still alive, that will still be true now that they are in spirit. And in addition to that, they have to learn how to, deliver their messages from the spirit realms to the physical realms. That's just an example. There are many different things that you need to take into consideration, but the main thing is understand that if you haven't been receiving any signs, it's not because your loved ones do not want to, it's because maybe they can't and have to learn and do some spiritual growing work on their own. Okay, and then number 2, a very important factor is that you might be creating blockages of your own. Okay, so for example, by being stuck in negative, low vibrational, dense energy, you create this veil, this wall around you that makes it extremely hard for your loved ones to come through. So if you're grieving a lot, which is so understandable, again, I have so much empathy for your situation, and it's really hard to, deal with a loss of a loved one. But if you're grieving too much, that creates negative, dense energy. And that is a big blockage in spirit communication. And then also, you need to understand that you cannot force signs. If you're constantly wishing for your loved one to come through, if you're constantly hoping to receive any form of contact or message from them, you accidentally create a lack situation, and that's the law of attraction. By wanting something so much, you signalize to the universe that you do not have it, and then what you get back is nothing, because you create this lack situation. So always try to ground yourself, to be relaxed, to raise your vibrations. Even if you take baby steps and you only manage to do it for a few moments in the day, that's okay, but work on your energy field, raise your vibrations. That will make it so much easier for your loved ones to come through. Okay, so now let's go through these 7 ways your loved ones try to reach you. Now, number 1, words. Written or spoken words. Any messages that you can hear or read. That's a big one, all right? And now I'm sure that all of you have a song that you would consider a sign from your loved one. And that is very true. Many loved ones send us songs in order to let us know that they're still with us, okay? In order to let us know that they care, or maybe they even have a specific message that they would like to deliver in that song. And that's something you need to take into consideration. So it doesn't always have to be your song, a specific one that you have in mind and that you see as a sign from your loved one. It can be any song. And something you can do and practice is you turn on the radio, or you use an app that you have for music. You turn that on, you connect with your loved one, you tune into their energies, and you ask them a question. And I would start off easy, okay? You just ask, how are you? Or are you with me? And then you play a random song, or you turn on the radio randomly and see what comes on. And even if it's not your song, pay attention to the lyrics. Your loved one might come through to you that way. Same thing works for books, for example. Have a book. Ask your loved one a question. Randomly open a page. Randomly put your finger on a certain line on that page. See what you read. It might be a word, a sentence, a message that is of importance. It might be your loved one trying to come through to you, all right? If you turn on the television, you hear a character say a certain line, that could be your loved one trying to reach you. All right, so that's so many different ways. Anywhere where you can see or hear a word or a message, it could be your loved one. So know that they have to work with what they have as tools here on this planet in the physical sense. They don't always have the power to give you your song, or to give you a song that resonates from start to finish, okay? They sometimes can only send you little bits, and you will find these bits. And you just need to be a bit cautious and use your intuition a lot. So not everything will obviously resonate, but if you get certain feelings or emotions that come while you read or hear that word, that's how you know it's your loved one, especially if it makes sense as an answer to the questions that you might have asked them, okay? Now, number 2 is numbers, very similar to words, numbers and number patterns. So sometimes it could be that you see just reoccurring numbers. It could be the time on the clock, it could be the date, it could be license plates, it could be receipts, phone numbers, anything, anywhere you can see a number, timestamps on videos, anything. It could be a message from your loved one. Sometimes they just try to get your attention and make you focus and put your attention on the same number wherever you go, wherever you look. That's just a way of them saying, hello, pay attention. There are some synchronicities. I'm trying to reach you. And in other cases, these numbers actually make sense and have a meaning in numerology. I can do a separate video on that if you're interested. But yeah, if you always see the same number, it could be... it would be good if you just Google that and see if you can find the meaning behind it, because numbers do mean something. But sometimes, as I've said, it could just be that your loved one wants to make you pay attention to synchronicities and coincidences. There are no coincidences, okay? Then a big one is number 3, which is dreams. Now, dreams. There is something very important I need to tell you. A lot of you don't seem to know that we all dream several times a night. So many people tell me I don't dream. Yes, you do dream, you just forget. So if you want for your loved one to come through to you in dreams, you need to work on memorizing not memorizing, on being able to remember your dreams. There are many good videos about this on YouTube, but I can give you a short version right now. So what you do is you just start to be more conscious about your dream state. You think about dreaming during the day, and then first thing after waking up is you don't grab your phone or get up and make a coffee. No, you sit down and actually try to think back and remember what you dreamt, and then you write it down. And the more you do that, the more you will be able to remember all of your dreams. And so your loved one might have tried to come through in dreams, but you forgot. Okay, so make sure you work on that in order to never miss out on a dream from your loved one. And then also, it's very important to understand that a sign from your loved one doesn't always have to be themselves in a dream appearing to you. That's obviously very beautiful and what we all want, but sometimes that doesn't work, and they send you images or stories in a dream. And again, use your intuition, your emotions. If you feel that was your loved one trying to send you a message, then that is absolutely the case. You need to trust your intuition, because doubt also creates blockages. Doubt is a low vibrational dense energy, and you do not want that. Okay, so keep that in mind. Then number 4 is thoughts and mental images. You might not have known this, but if you open up yourself energetically to your loved one, if you love them a lot and trust them, you sort of give them permission to come into your mind. You invite them into your mind, and then they send you thoughts and mental images. And they can be very subtle. Sometimes they can be quite extreme, And again, they might not be very direct, so that you automatically 100% realize, wow, that's a message from my loved one. It can just be a random idea or something that you don't necessarily connect with your loved one, but that is their way of, reaching you. Again, you need to use your intuition, but one thing I can tell you about this is that when you randomly get a thought or mental image, if you randomly see something that has nothing to do with what you were thinking prior to it, with what you think about normally during the day, or with what you were doing, that's how you know it doesn't come from you, probably comes from your loved one. Okay, that's a bit of a tricky one, but it does happen. And then number 5 is emotions and feelings. So the same way I've just described, random thoughts and mental images coming into your head, same thing can happen with your heart, with your feelings. If all of a sudden you start to feel a certain way and you don't know where it's coming from, that's not you. It could be you, but it's probably your loved one trying to make you feel their emotions. If they can't talk to you, if they can't send you messages, if the mental images don't work, they try to make you feel their emotions. So pay attention to that. Ask yourself, is that something that makes sense for me to feel? Or is that something that could come from your loved one? Is that their way of trying to show you how they're feeling, how they're doing? Now, number 6, physical sensations. That's probably the most spectacular one, and we don't often get to experience these, and they can be a little bit scary, but don't be. If you were not afraid of your loved one when they are still alive, why should you be afraid of them now that they're in spirit? They're still the same person, okay? So don't be afraid if you experience it. It's beautiful. Some of you have told me that you have felt your loved one's touch. I have experienced it myself. It's amazing, but that's obviously something very difficult or very miraculous when it happens. What is easier for your loved one to produce, to manifest in a physical sense, is smell. So always pay attention to smells. It could be something that you associate with your loved one, this particular smell, like their favorite perfume, or if they were a smoker, you smell smoke, or their laundry detergent, stuff like that. but it doesn't always have to be. So be aware of that. It doesn't always have to be such a strong sign of smell. It can be a random smell that you cannot explain, that does not make sense for your situation. Always use your intuition, and in this case also your head. Does it make sense for me to smell this now? If it doesn't, then it could be your loved one trying to reach you. Same goes for noise. If it's not, what I mentioned earlier, songs or spoken messages or words from radio or the TV or an actual person, it can be white noise that you pick up on, or inaudible whispers, inaudible humming, inaudible singing. Some people experience that, and it most commonly happens when you least expect it, because that is when you don't have any blockages around yourself of distraction, of negativity, of forcing it, okay? But these are like number 6 is something for very either experienced people, psychics, or for absolute miracles. So do not be disappointed if you don't experience that. But number 7 is something that we can all experience. We don't have to be very psychically, spiritually gifted when it comes to it, and that's natural phenomena. It's a very wide and generic topic, this one, but a very beautiful one. So it's nature, basically. It's light phenomena, that's a big one. Some of your loved ones will try light sources to communicate with you. So maybe, actually that's not so natural. Electricity, they might make your lights flicker, but that's not as natural. Or they make, if you light a candle, they can make the candlelight flicker, or a fire. But I'm more talking about sunlight, okay? If it's a gloomy day and all of a sudden the sun comes through, it's not a coincidence. It's your loved one trying to tell you, I'm here. So pay attention to these small details. If you're in a dark room and all of a sudden the light hits something in that room, or a ray of sunshine hits a spot near you, that often happens during my tarot readings. It's your deceased loved one trying to get your attention. And then also, if you see like a beautiful sunset, a beautiful sunrise, it could be a loved one showing you, I'm here, I care, I love you. Plants, if flowers grow in spots where they didn't used to grow, or if you go on a walk and you randomly see a very beautiful flower, very beautiful plant, a cute mushroom, if it speaks to you, if you have a certain emotion, it can be your loved one trying to reach you. Animals, birds are a strong one, because birds are spiritual messengers. If birds come very close to you, or if you see a very beautiful bird, or that sings a very beautiful melody, it can be your loved one. Butterflies, bees, any animal that makes sense to you, anything that speaks to you, okay? Wind is a strong one as well. If all of a sudden a strong breeze comes up, or a warm breeze that hits your face and caresses your skin, that can be your loved one. So don't think you're crazy, or don't think you interpret too much into common things. No. If you do that, again, you create this barrier of doubt and low vibrational energy around yourself. Just invite these things into your life and be very accepting of them, and don't think you're crazy. Don't think that's wishful thinking. No, just know that these little things are the things your loved one tries to do in order to reach you, and the more you train that, the more things will happen to you. You need to build your psychic abilities like a muscle. It won't happen from one day to the next. You have to put in the work, and eventually you will grow a very big muscle and you'll be very fit or very strong. That's the exact same thing when it comes to all things spiritual. You can do it, okay? Just take baby steps and pay attention to all the things I have told you. You will get there, and you will hopefully have many beautiful experiences in the future with your passed away loved ones. If you have any questions, if you want me to interpret any signs for you, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on the bell for notifications so that you will never miss out on a new video on my channel in the future. Take very good care, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye.